So after our discussion this afternoon, all the tricks of the trade, the pitfalls, the things to watch out for, the things to practice, I'd like to finish that up with a process on clearing out sabotage patterns. We talked a little bit about that this afternoon. We know we all have sabotage patterns, and they're our favorite ways to, despite our best efforts, to make ourselves choose fear, sometimes without even knowing that we're doing it, when we're trying to actually effect some change in our life, some positive change, or to choose love. And these sabotage patterns are programs that we designed to make sure that we didn't allow too much love, we didn't take too many risks in case we get hurt, or we didn't have too much of a go because we make mistakes. Whenever we start to be in a position of power or responsibility, we go wrong. And all these sabotage patterns that we run, they're really about keeping us in fear and keeping us small, and they're based in judgment and fear. So it's either the fear of love, the fear of greatness, the fear of the light, the fear of the unknown as you move forward into new regions of evolution. And sometimes it's also about judgment, about preventing us from rising into a particular state of being or a particular position, because when we have in the past done it or experienced it, we've fallen flat on our face or made a mess of it, or just made a mistake with it. And so we just have all these sabotage patterns that are going to make sure that we never again find ourselves in a situation like that, so we can't make the same mistake. So we never again find ourselves in a situation where we get hurt again in the same way that we did. And you know, these sabotage patterns can run beautifully in relationships, at work, in obviously with the process, the spiritual process, and these things that trigger, that cause us to either forget what we were doing or what we're actually choosing to do. They cause us to act out in ways that are less than love, which will actually destroy either the progress we've made or destroy our relationships, or sabotage things that we've done at work so that we get fired or we get demoted, or and they're all based in fear, judgment, and unworthiness. And so it's good to just do a bit of a clearing around this after what we talked about today. Like I said today, a lot of us know a certain amount of our sabotage patterns. You know, we know that there's certain things that we've done several times. Every time we start to go really well, or every time we have an opportunity, we do something stupid that causes us to miss that opportunity or lose ground again, undo some good gains that we've made. And so we all have something, at least, that we know that we tend to do when we actually have a chance to really rise up and be great, or really take up an opportunity and step up, or whether it's at work or have a really good relationships and actually allow ourselves to be loved and have something that's really love-based. But the more you go on the path and the more you progress, the more you uncover more and more sabotage patterns of things that are running in the background unconsciously that you don't even realize you're doing, that actually place limitations on your ability to really move forward and embody more of your greater potential. So what I'd like to do is just for us to take the time to go within and feel into the ones that we know are there that we haven't cleared yet. It's not about going to reinstall ones that we've cleared that we used to run until about 2 years ago, but we haven't been running it for 2 years. But at least I know that used to be a sabotage pattern that I was running, so I'm going to go back to that. That's not what we're doing. We're going to feel into things that we know are still here and running right here, right now. And then we'll see if we can find anything new that maybe we didn't realize was there, slowing us down and sabotaging our efforts to really actualize spiritually, but also in terms of manifesting success in our lives, in various areas of our life. So let's make sure we're aligned, centered, really present. And the first thing to watch during this process is any sabotage patterns around going along with this process. Anything that tries to get you distracted, to go to sleep, to start thinking about something else, to get ungrounded, space off. So we actually have to marshal our will. And if we notice any of these sabotage patterns coming up, trying to get us to go to sleep or get distracted or whatever, catch it. Because spirit doesn't go to sleep ever. It's only the ego that makes the bodies go to sleep and makes the mind go to sleep and so on. But spirit is there, alert and awake in all times. So really marshal that clarity and the will and the love and the intelligence of that. And if a sabotage pattern comes up, great, there's one to clear. And you'll notice as you allow yourself to really just center, really be centered in the line in the I am. I am here now. I am all that I am. Grounded. My heart is my connection to Source. My heart is where my energy, the spirit that I am, resides. Connected down into the core of the earth, up into the highest, clearest source that we can connect into, in, of, and full love, in service to all that is. Expanding out from the center, really filling ourselves up with that light of awareness, that light of spiritual intelligence and insight, illumination. And allowing ourselves to really sink into ourselves as spirit here now, filling ourselves up with love, with that light of awareness, with the love of spirit. We know love is a great revealer of fear. It tends to highlight where the fear is as we really pump it up and saturate our bodies with it. So whatever you feel, whatever comes up, just keep running the process, breathe. Let's set our intention on bringing that light of awareness to illuminate anything within us, within our bodies, that is about sabotaging. That sneaky little program, that sneaky little energy, that sneaky activity that comes in and cuts us down at the knees when we start to go well, or when we have a chance to step up or to be successful or to be happy. That causes us to play small, to shrink. There's the ones you know, but there may be ones you don't know. There's that little voices that keeps undermining everything and causing you to doubt, questioning, but not questioning to find a higher truth, questioning to undermine. That's a typical sabotage pattern. Any negative self-talk, any inner critic stuff. Just keep running the process. Allow the awareness to reveal where it is, and thank you, and actually process the energy of that inner critic, of that doubting. Process is through. And if it's coming from a particular place, a particular root within yourself, just allow that light of awareness to reveal where that inner critic pattern, that negative self-talk, that doubt, disbelief pattern is anchored into. Is it a place of woundedness perhaps? Or some place in you where you gave up trusting your own knowing? So you keep doubting yourself all the time. Or you allow yourself to give your power away and not trust yourself, your own knowing anymore. Or is it coming from a place of deep unworthiness? Some part in you that's convinced that it's unworthy, and so nothing you do can ever be good enough. Whatever it is, it's not the truth, it's just an energy, a feeling to be processed out and cleared and released. So expand your space to hold space for those feelings, for these energies. And just surrender, allow, thank you, this is not the truth, accept it, love it, be grateful for it, and let it go. And allow yourself to pour love in that place of woundedness or that place of unworthiness where it was before. As you keep choosing the new, remember to replace the old energy that you are releasing with love. Allow yourself to become more aware of that sabotage system inside yourself. That web of patterns, sub-personalities, voices, feelings, issues, that is actually weighing you down and holding you back. That is trying and invested in keeping you in fear. You'll get a feel for it because you get that really sense of the light and the love and that part of you that wants to grow and expand. And you'll get a sense of something that's actually trying to cause you to contract, to stay small, to weigh you down, to keep you hidden. But it's for your own good, it's to keep you safe, or so you don't get hurt, or so you don't make big mistakes. Of course, that's why you programmed it that way. But you realize now that it's not serving you. Just choose to perceive the truth of what's going on in here, the reality of your sabotage pattern, and start to dismantle that, to hold space for it and use the love and the light, and let's call in the violet flame as well, to start dealing with that energy, that system within you. The activity of which is all about sabotaging your efforts to go for your higher potential, to reach for that actualization, whether it's in your daily life or in the spiritual process. Any, I can't, I'm not capable, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. I'm not capable of this. I can't handle it. Or it's too much, or it's too scary. Any of these voices, any of these feelings that run in there, just expand the light of awareness, expand the love towards it, the violet flame. Bring it up, run the process. Allow, feel, acknowledge, be grateful. Release the judgment, re-choose, release the energy and harmonize. Fill that place with a new choice. Allow yourself to reprogram yourself. Change your energy. Feel as it feels. Remember, as soon as you feel that particular wave of energy, it's ready to be transmuted and released. And then you move on to the next until you get to the core and you remove all of that. I choose love. No matter how deep this runs, this feeling, this program, this sabotage, no matter how real it feels, it's not the truth of who I am. Because who I am is infinite spirit. This is just blocks in the bodies, blocks in the identity, blocks in the soul. It is not the true essence of who I am as a spiritual being. And if you find yourself dealing with a particular body, such as the mind or the emotions or the physical body even, and you're clearing that sabotage and that resistance, then give it a new job. Actually instruct that part of you. Now you have, for instance, with the mind, your new job is not about questioning to doubt all the time. Your new job is about letting me know whenever I'm avoiding or denying something that's going on within me. And you can do that by starting to chatter to me about what's going on, for instance. That's just an example. Just an example, you can do it however you feel is best. Or your emotional body. When we have emotions coming up, instead of blocking it and trying to squash it down because we've been judging emotions this whole time, it's okay. Now, what we do is we allow the emotions to be felt, but we don't act them out. You let me know that this is coming up, and then I'll deal with it. I'll clear it. I'll run the process, and you can work with me on that. So it's about removing these old programs that sabotage you and giving new instructions. And you're going to have to keep giving those same instructions over and over again, because once is not necessarily enough. When you've been telling your bodies for the last 30, 40, 50 years to make you doubt or keep your feelings away from you or whatever, then it's going to take a while for them to really be sure that this is definitely the new direction, the new instructions. It's like training a dog or raising a child. It takes time and consistency. But this is part of getting the team to work with you. You got to train the team. But you also got to be aware of the elements of the team that are working against you, and you got to clear that. And because you've used these sabotage patterns to protect yourself from experiencing hurt or loss or making mistakes that you really judged, some of it's going to be a bit hard to let go, because maybe you'll feel a bit unsafe or scared to do it a new way, or it's going to bring up that fear and that judgment that caused you to install that program in the first place. So you just got to feel that. You just got to feel that. That's just the fear that's behind the sabotage pattern. That's all. It's just something else to be transmuted. That thing that switches you off and makes you go to sleep, or switches you off and makes you forget stuff all the time. There's another classic one. Where you really have this intention, I'm going to do this, I'm really going to practice this new choice. Or you get an inspiration, I really feel inspired to do that. And by the next day you've forgotten. And the next day you go, oh my God, I completely forgot to do this or practice this new behavior. What the hell happened? How could I forget? The sabotage pattern kicked in. Feel into where that's coming from within you. Hold space for it. Start to dissolve it, dismantle it. Feel any feelings associated with that. Any fears, any resistance, keep clearing, keep running the process. And then fill that space with love. Give it new instructions. Feel in your heart, you'll have the knowing in your heart of what these new instructions are. It's about my commitment to spirit. It's about allowing love in. It's about not shying away from suffering, but embracing my suffering joyfully as part of my clearing to empower the human spirit that I am. It may mean changing certain beliefs and perceptions, letting go of old lenses. Let the energy guide you. Reset your systems to be supportive of your process towards spiritual actualization and success in your life in a way that's in alignment with the true spirit that you are. Reshuffle priorities and let all these bodies know what the goal is, what they're all supposed to be working towards. Be aware of any resistance, anything that goes but, anything that goes here, right, whatever. And go there. Don't judge it, don't be scared of it, don't attack it. Hey you, obviously you haven't been working with the rest of the team, so come here into this healing clearing space. Dismantle, feel it, release it, remove it. Replace it with love and with a new habit, new instructions. You gotta really let go. And to some degree it's gotta feel uncertain and a bit unsafe, because all these sabotage patterns are designed to help you cope and stay safe from... It's distorted, but that's the good intention. So that's gonna challenge whatever it is that they're trying to protect or avoid. That little pit of unworthiness in there, and worthlessness and hopelessness that keeps pulling you down. Every time you start to really be hopeful and believe in yourself and feel that you really can achieve greatness. You know, maybe it presents as like keeping you humble or keeping your feet on the ground. But really what it does is actually keep you small, prevents you from allowing to really be a bright, shining light. Who do you think you are that you think you can be a great shining light? You're nothing special. Or if you even try, you'll muck it up because you're not good enough. All that, just surround that, find where that's coming from and clear it, run the process. Breathe into it, allow it, feel it, acknowledge what's really going on here, and acknowledge that you created that. You installed that pattern. You can be grateful for the healing opportunity and for the job it did for you up until now. Release the judgment on anything having to do with that. Start to bring a new choice, new instructions, new love there as you let go of the old. Remove it, dismantle it, pull it out. Let it wash away. Empty it, and really allow yourself to anchor that new, feel different as a result. Tap into that deep knowing in the spirit, I am. Core and center, that absolute knowing of your worthiness and your capability. Whatever the universe presents you with means you're ready. Whether you're willing is your choice. Choose to be willing to step up to accept whatever the universe presents you with. That's about the highest love choice. Because sometimes the universe presents us with tests. And it's like, do you still want this old thing that you've been asking for 10 years, or do you want this new thing? In this moment, just feel confident that if the universe presents the old and the new, it means you're able to choose the new. And you have to decide that you are also going to be willing from now on, because nothing in you is going to come in the way of making you unwilling. Because you know the sabotages. Notice that thing that causes you to get so caught up in your stuff and your pain and your issues that you forget that you are the great spirit with the bigger picture and the bigger world. You start to get sucked in your own dramas. What is it within you that causes you to just go unconscious when certain strong feelings come up and forget that it's just something else to be transmuted and let go of, and you start to battle with it and get caught up in it and lament and feel sorry or get really justified in what you're feeling? What is that? What's going on in here? How is that running in there? What are you doing with your energy that causes you to sabotage yourself like that? And clear that. Maybe there's misconceptions about what feeling deeply, feeling your feelings really mean. You feel that having to dive in it head first is how it is to feel, but it's not. You need to really feel, and it's going to flow through your energy, and it can be messy, but in the middle of it all, you still are the I am, and you know that these feelings are just something that you're moving through and transmuting, and it's not the truth of who you are. Or maybe you see yourself as much weaker than you are and don't use your will enough. Or maybe you feel that that's a way that you can get attention or take time off life, because when it's all too hard you just go in your shell and indulge in a big pity party or something. Whatever, there's lots, everyone will have their own story about why they let themselves go unconscious into feeling, rather than stay as the I am, stay awake and process the feelings through as you experience them. What is that part of you that causes you to get caught up in the dramas? Narrow in on it. Bring the light of awareness to it. Hold a strong space for it. And clear it, remove it. Maybe it's a level of identification that you have to let go of. Maybe it's a certain amount of priority placed on certain things that needs to be let go of and realigned to what's really important within the context of mastery and your eternal journey. An investment, an attachment, a fear. Time to befriend your own little internal enemy. You know what they say, keep your friends close, keep your enemies even closer. Except it's not really your enemy, it's just trying to serve you according to old instructions. So it's all about educating that part of you. First of all, to let go of old feelings, old issues, frozen energy in there that slows you down, and then reprogramming that mechanism within you so that it serves love, it serves your growth, it serves your evolution, your success in full love, in service to all that is. Letting go of all the hurts and fears that it's trying to protect, so that it has its hands free to get a new job and do its new job. You don't have to hide that from me anymore. You don't have to protect that anymore. You don't have to guard this. Suffering is okay. I can deal with the feelings, and I want to deal with the feelings because I know that's taking me closer to being a being of love. You don't have to keep me small anymore. I know I can handle where I am at right here, right now, what the universe presents me with. The universe knows better than you what I'm ready for. And I'm ready for it, and I'm worthy of it. And doesn't matter what in there disagrees, that's how it is. So thank you for doing a great job and doing exactly what I asked of you all this time. But let's go. Let's do it differently. This is the new job. This is the new instructions. Now I can feel all these things that you've been trying to hide from me and protect from me and from the world. I can go there. There is no more no-go zones. There's nothing for me to be scared about. It's all just me. It's all just my energy. Some of it's a bit frozen, some of it's a bit battered around, but that's okay. It's all of me. I am all that I am. Amazing, great spiritual being, and also a bit battered around. That's okay. That's how I learn. That's how I grow. That's how I become more kind and compassionate, stronger, more loving. That's how I really understand the value of love and the value of power and the value of intelligence. Because I've experienced all sides of it. I've experienced how it is to be trodden on and to be the one to tread on. I get it. I can really start to learn now. I'm not afraid. I can do this. I want to do this. I choose to do this. I am doing this. All of me is doing this. Notice any resistance, keep clearing. So you're going to have to keep reaffirming that every day, probably many times a day. And every time you reaffirm it and really feel it and realign yourself to that, and you feel some resistance, some like, oh, but no, you can't, or scary, just feel that and clear it, let it go. Don't judge it. Then fill it with love, reprogram it, re-utter the instructions. And over time, the team's going to get on board more and more and more. This is a commitment for life. We're going to live in this thing for as long as it's alive. So we better work together. Set that strong commitment to this new relationship with yourself, this new job description of being a monkey trainer, a trainer of human bodies and souls. I am. Just remain aware. Remain aware of these sabotage patterns. Notice them when they start kicking in. Remember how it feels. Recognize them. And instead of just judging them or starting to get scared, oh no, that sabotage pattern is going to kick in, I'm going to fail. Don't do that. Don't buy into it. That's just another sabotage pattern. Just go, hey, come here. Time to get you on board. Let's make sure we really fill ourselves up with love, with that sense of commitment and priority and choice. Choosing love, choosing spirit, choosing success in, of, and for love, in service to all that is. To really make a difference, to really be different, act differently, behave differently, do things differently as a result. You as the God within, relating with yourself as a human being, is the primary relationship in your life. If that's a good relationship, that's love-based, that's constructive, mutually supportive, it will affect everything else in your life. And like any relationships, it will go through its struggles and challenges, but you stay on track, you pull through, and remember, I, as the spirit self, I'm the boss. It's not an equal partnership, you're the boss. This is the servant. But it will be happy to serve you if you train it correctly and give it clear instructions and look after it lovingly and kindly, yet firmly. You know, children that are actually raised with proper boundaries, not too harsh, but loving, appropriate boundaries, are much happier than kids that are allowed to run amok. Because they feel safer, they feel they can trust their parents to really guide them, to know what's right and what's wrong, and to find their way through life. They're more able to trust and to develop their sense of confidence as the boundaries are gradually expanded, as they start to mature and behave more like adults. So it's a bit the same. You've got to raise your human in that way. You've got to parent your human. And although it may have its little tantrum and kick and scream, if you stay on track with it, you're consistent, firm yet loving, it will be much happier than if you just let it have its own way all the time. That's just the path of pain and constant discontent, of never coming fulfillment. That union between spirit and the human vessel is the path to true fulfillment as a human being. And as you keep living this way, choosing love, staying in the driver's seat, training your bodies, it will start to know that, it will start to experience that. Committed to this relationship, committed to giving it your best, remembering who you are and remembering who's the master and who's the servant. Grounded, present. Remember to keep doing that when the sabotage patterns kick up and you notice them. And all the best with this journey and partnership.